The finest sense of mirth. The king come. He walked the earth in the condition, felt the pain of his people. In 40 days and 40 nights he had to overcome evil. You ever try to speak the truth, but nobody believe you. He had a mission from the Father, go down, die for his people. Go read Isaiah 53, don't let go over your head. He knew that he would get betrayed, but he was still breaking bread. I am the truth, I am the way, I won't forget what he said. He knew that he was about to die, but resurrected in the day. No way get high. Through all the pain, I still keep my shalom. The devil want us dead, he want us gone. I can't wait until he covering the alarm. Shalom. Just hold on, keep them commandments, cause he right on his way. Waking my people up, I want my people soul to get saved. Ain't no coincidence, we waking up all over the place. He put that crown up on my head, I wouldn't know what to say. This one for Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. This one for Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. This one for Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. This one for Messiah, 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 Messiah. All praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the creator of heaven and earth. Father, you told Abraham to sacrifice his chosen son to prove his faith. And when he looked over, he see the ram caught in a thick, like thorns in his head. One time for the Savior. But will it we make it through this tribulation? And when the sun and the moon don't give its light no more, all you gonna hear around the world is trumpets. This one for Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. This one for Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. This one for Messiah, Messiah, Messiah. This one for Messiah, 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 Messiah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Wamalach, Yahweh Shah, Barakatham. Let all Yasharal give forth praise to our Creator and to our King, Kinsman Redeemer. Let all nations give praise to the Abanawa, right? You are joined live with Army of Yah, Ashar, Yam, Teru, Yasharal, Asham, Yam, Teru, Ak Hezekiah, Shalom, Ak, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, King Yahweh Shah Brakatah. All praises to the Most High for another opportunity to recognize the feast of Yom Teru. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, family, we're not going to be before y'all too long. You know, it is Yom Teru, Day of Trumpets, Memorial Day of Trumpets. You know, and I've heard a lot of people talking about it. You know, ordinarily, you know, it will be a conversation that I have with my broods. But I'm looking on, you know, Facebook and other social media platforms, and you're seeing a lot of people speaking about trumpets this year for some reason. And, you know, there's a lot going on in the world. And I think people are paying more attention because the scriptures are indeed flawless. But today, you know, we're going to bring forth some scriptures detailing the Day of Trumpets, as well as scriptures that pretty much show why this is a day of remembrance to us, and also a day of anticipation for us, being Yasharal. But again, Ashar Yom Teru. And I think it's only fitting if we go first to the book of Shemot, chapter 23. and we're gonna begin at. So let's get you know, I said Shemot. I meant Leviticus 23.
Kind. Okay. Yeah, you want to start from the top?
Yeah, Khan, and we just need let's see, just those first two verses right there in Leviticus 23 from the beginning.
Kind. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 1. It says, "And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which you shall proclaim to be Kodesh convocations. Even these are my feasts."
Right. So, you know, the elder, you know, who was called the king of Yeshurun, king of Israel, at one point, is being directed by the Most High to speak to, not to everybody, but to speak to the children of Yasharal concerning his feast days. So, you know, if one were to continue reading here in Leviticus 23, you would read about, you know, specific set apart days that the Most High has ordained for the children of Yasharal. But from there, we're going to drop down, same chapter, and pick it up in verse 23. All right.
Verse 23, still in Leviticus 23. It says, "And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh."
Khan. So this is indeed a set apart day that the Most High has instructed for those who, you know, for the children of Israel, his peculiar nation, people who he made a covenant with, our ancestors, right? This being the first day of the 7th month, you know, according to the calendar that we keep. But you know, we're going to get another witness for this Yom Teruah in the book of Bamidbar, Numbers chapter 29. And really, all we need from Numbers 29 is verse 1.
Is the book of Numbers chapter 29 and verse 1. "And in the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a Kodesh convocation. You shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing of the trumpets unto you."
Khan, so you know, there it is, our second witness instructions being given to the children of Yasharal about what to do on this Yom Teruah, right? But you know, we know that it has a big significance with us and with futuristic prophecy. But you know, the Most High is a grand architect. You know, his foolishness is wiser than the wisest man that has walked the earth. But he has a way that he goes about doing things that is it's marvelous. It is marvelous, and you know, we can get what he says about that. But let's go to the book of Yeshayahu, chapter 46, and we want verses 9 and 10. So Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9 and 10. When you get there.
I got you right here. All right. We got the book of Yeshayahu, Isaiah chapter 46 and verse number 9. "Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me."
Right. So just stopping right there for a second. You know, this is the prophecy coming from Yeshayahu, the Most High telling, you know, because this wasn't just for Isaiah. This was something that Isaiah would relate to the people. But the Most High is telling Isaiah to tell the people, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me. And this is absolutely true. But continue out.
Verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Kanak. So remember, he is the Most High, and there is none like him. Who else do we know that can claim the end from the beginning, that can see the whole picture, right?
Nobody.
I don't even think the prophets saw the whole picture. You know what I mean? But the Most High is the architect. He's the potter, and we're the clay, right? There's none else like him. But you know, that's a significant point as well. You know, declaring the end from the beginning. You got anything on that, Art?
You know, that's you spot on. You know, our power is the most magnificent, and you can't get that from anywhere else.
Khan, indeed, indeed. And you know, YHWH was a witness to that. The prophets were a witness to that. You know, our ancestors that made a covenant with the Most High at Mount Sinai were witnesses to that. You know, we being in this captivity are witnesses to him declaring a thing from the beginning of what would be in the end. The Apostle Shaul was another witness. And, you know, for us, Yom Teruah, Day of Trumpets, it has a significance. And this wasn't something that just started. You know, the Most High declares a thing from the beginning, or from the beginning of what the end will be. And Shaul was a witness to that as well. But we can get that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, and we want verses 13 through 18. All right.
Kind. All right, it's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse number 13. It says, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe in YHWH, if we believe that YHWH died and rose again, then so them also which sleep in YHWH will the Most High bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of Yahweh, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahweh shall not prevent them which are asleep. Verse 16. For Yahweh himself shall descend from Shamaim with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of the Most High. I'll slack it. So the master, let's say the master for this is
Khan.
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the same thing in the last verse too. So yeah, verse 16. Let me read it again. For the master himself shall descend from Shamaim with a shout, and with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Mashiach shall rise first. When we which are alive and remain shall be caught up, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the cloud to meet the master in the air, and so shall we be with the master. Therefore,
Khan.
Go ahead.
You know, stopping right there real quick, you know, Shaul is speaking about, you know, what has been declared from the beginning about this trumpet being blasted, right? And how those who have the testimony and the witness of Mashiach that are gone the ways of our fathers, you know, they will be the first to meet him in the air, right? Now, the church has twisted this. Well, I shouldn't even say the church. I would say individuals have taken this script and began a doctrine with it, a doctrine of devils, you know, speaking about a rapture. You you have to remember what this day signifies, and it signifies the return of the King to restore his people, right? So no, you know, this day it signifies the salvation, right, of Yasharal, you know. So no, you all won't be, nobody's going to be raptured in this. You're not even going to see the word rapture ever mentioned in the scriptures. So a doctrine of devils, a big fabricated story, you know, of scripts misinterpreted. But you know, that's pretty much all we need from there. You got anything on that?
You know, I think you hit it on the head, and yeah, that pretty much we make preparation for Mashiach to return and to put us back to where we belong, and back where we should be. You know, that we've served our punishment, and the restoration begins with that trumpet. So all praise to the Abba.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. So you know, Shaul being a witness of this day of trumpets. You know, he wasn't the only prophet, you know, or apostle, you know, of the Most High that had a vision of this trumpet, or you know, being told about how the end would play out. You know, Esdras or Ezra was another witness, and we can read about his account or what he was told about this day. And also, it's you know, it's no coincidence of who is speaking to Esdras in this script as well. But if you can grab that in Second Address, chapter 6, and we will begin at verse 11.
Okay. All right. It's the book of Second Address, chapter 6, verse 11. And I answered then and said, O Master, that beareth rule, if I have found favor in your sight.
Right. So this is Esdras. This is Esdras speaking to Yahweh, right? At this point, he's speaking to Yahweh, having a conversation. You know, he's had a visitation from the Most High Creator. But continue out.
Verse 12. I beseech you, show your servant the end of your tokens. Wherefore, you would show me part of the last night. Show me part of the last night.
So the Most High deals with his people through dreams and visions. And you know, Esdras has been, you know, given a dream and vision. You know, and it's something that it wasn't just one night. You know, this happened over a period of time. But continue out.
Verse 13. So he answered and said unto me, stand up on your feet and hear the mighty sounding voice. And it shall be as it were a great motion, but the place where you shall stand, well, the place where you stand shall not be moved. And therefore, when it speaketh, be not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundation of the earth is understood.
So the Most High is telling Esdras that he's getting ready to hear a voice that's going to shake him up. But don't be afraid, because this is instructing you, right? Continue out.
Verse 16. And why? Because the speech of these things trembleth and is moved, for it is known that the end of these things must be changed. Verse 17. And it happened that when I heard it, I stood up on my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters.
All praise to the Most High. You know, a voice of many waters, you know, and you and I have, you know, all praise to the Most High. We've, you know, been a part of enough studies and have studied enough to know that when we hear the voice of many waters, that is indeed Mashiach, our King and kinsman redeemer. Remembering that Yahweh, he's got three different voices. The Father sounds like thunder. The Son, Mashiach, sounds like a voice of many waters. The Ruach sounds like a trumpet, right? So we hear this and we know that this is Mashiach speaking about the things of the end. Continue,
Indeed. Verse 18, it says, and it happened, behold, the day come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
Khan. So this is why, we haven't really got to, but reading that right there, Mashiach drawing nigh, this is something that we have desired and something that we, hope for, the return of our King, and the return or not the renewal, but the restoration of our people, being gathered together. And we know that happens, after Mashiach arrives back. But continue,
Continue, verse 19. And will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
Right. So Zion is not only a place, it's a people that have been scattered by the Most High due to our disobedience, the disobedience of our ancestors. But with our Messiah and King returning, he says that he's coming to make inquisitions of them that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. That's what's been going on with our people. Some would say 400 years, but you and I know that it's really much longer than that. But he's coming back to pay back those who have done treacherously with his people, right? And the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praise to the
yeah. But continue,
All right, into verse 20. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away. Slakia. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, and the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Verse 21. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, and women, the woman with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up.
Stopping right there. So this is a time of strange occurrences,
right.
Much like the times that we live in now, right? Yeah. I remember when I think it was either my youngest nephew was born, but he was trying to sit up when he was like very young. Strange occurrences going on. That's something that you don't see every day. And if we were just to sit back and look at all of these strange occurrences, we would probably be amazed and probably have a little bit more understanding of what all is going on. But continue, please.
Indeed. Verse 22. And suddenly shall the sorrow place and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Verse 23. And the trumpets shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Verse 24, continuing here. And
Slacky. I'm glad you paused. But there we hear another witness of the trumpets, being blasted off, and everyone being afraid when they hear it. You know, the day of the Most High is a dreadful day. You know what I mean? It's our redemption, but everybody's going to be afraid when you hear this trumpet. Initially.
Correct. Yeah,
yeah, please continue. Oh, you got something out?
I was gonna say you gotta have it right when that time comes. Otherwise, you're gonna be, you be caught up with the wicked.
You can't.
And that's why we urge people to keep the commandments, and why that's such a vastly important thing. So, but continuing here, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and springs of fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Strange occurrences. Very strange occurrences,
Indeed. Verse 25. Whoso remaineth from all those that I have told you shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world.
All praises to the Most High. Mashiach is speaking about the salvation that is with him. So, it's a dreadful day, and men will be afraid, but those who escape shall see the Messiah's salvation. Now, we were on a study last night, and the elder brought out, who salvation was for. And, I don't want to spend time on who it's for, but I think if we grab the script, if you could go to, and I didn't write this one down, but go to the book of Luke chapter 24, because people need to understand what salvation, what it means. And, it's not that I disagree with what the elder was saying, but because he brought out the scripts. However, I think the context of salvation is what can be disputed. What does salvation mean? But we're going to hear what another prophet had to say about salvation and what Mashiach's coming to the earth would mean for our people. But grab Luke chapter 24, and we want to begin reading at. We want to begin reading. And you know what I said? 24, Salakia. Luke chapter 1.
Okay.
Yeah, Luke chapter 1. And we're going to read about what Yehukanan, the immerser, what his father had prophesied concerning salvation. Okay. And just from reading that prophecy, we will be able to identify who that is for and what that means, or not who it's for, but what salvation means. All right. But yeah, Luke chapter 1, begin reading at verse 67.
67. All right. Luke chapter 1 and verse 67. And his father, Zacharias, was filled with Hakadesh Ruach and prophesied, saying, Blessed be Yahweh, power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people.
Stopping right there. Right. Stopping right there. The Most High has visited and redeemed the Romans.
His people.
The Brits.
His people. His
people. That's not talking about. But I think you'll see where I'm going with this. Continue verse 69.
Verse 69. And have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David.
Right. So he says salvation for us. Now, Zacharias was he was an Israelite of the tribe of Levi, of the sons of Aharon. So when he says us, he's speaking about 12 tribes of Yasharal. Continue.
Indeed. Verse 70. As he spake by the mouth of his Kodesh prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
So that is what salvation is. Right. Salvation is Israel being saved from our enemies, and from the people that hate us. Right? If so, like, I'm not saying who salvation is for, but that's what salvation is. So, like, if you do not have a problem with people hating you and oppressing you, this salvation wouldn't be speaking about you. That's not to say that you won't be around. You know, I'm not saying that the other nations won't be around, but as far as salvation goes, salvation is for those who need it. And it is the children of Yasharal that suffer from the oppression of those that hate us. Right? But he's going to continue talking about it. Continue, please.
Indeed. Verse 72, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his Kodesh covenant, the oath which he swore unto Father Abraham.
The Most High declares the end from the beginning. He told Father Abraham, that know for a surety that your seed will be servants, bondmen in a land that they don't know. Right? But I'm going to judge that nation. This is who salvation is speaking about. Right? I think we only need, let's see. I want to hear him say it again. Yeah, at last verse.
Verse 74 says that we should be, that he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear.
You know, being able to know for a surety that you're not going to work on a Sabbath and that nobody's going to hold that over your head, you know, is being delivered. That is what salvation means, being able to serve the Most High without any fear or any repercussion. And that is prophecy of what will occur. That is pretty much, I'm not going to say all that salvation is about, but that pretty much tells you the meaning of salvation. You know, it's for us to be saved from our enemies and those that hate us. All right. So I'm glad we had a chance to bring that out. But, you know, let's get the, not so much the witness, but the originator, you know, Mashiach. Let's see what he had to say. But we want Matthew chapter 24.
Okay. Verse 1.
And, you know, we're going to jump around in this chapter, but start off just from the top, and we just need 1 and 2 from the top.
Okay. It's the book of Matthew, or Matthew chapter 24 and verse 1. And YHWH went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple, Slakia. And YHWH said unto them, see not all these things? Surely I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
You know, I spoke earlier about how a lot of the prophets, you know, they were blessed and fortunate to be given the visions and, you know, the encounters that they had with the Most High. However, a lot of times, you know, they didn't see the whole picture. Mashiach, you know, has seen the whole picture. However, there's certain things that even he doesn't know. He doesn't know the day of his own return. You know, there's something restored for the Father. But he knew enough to understand that this beautiful building, not one stone would be left on top of the other one, right? Verse 3 says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? So, you know, they understood that Mashiach knew what it would look like, and they understood that he had knowledge about what the end would look like, right? And, you know, if we were to continue reading, he would be talking about things that we see just about every day on the news. You know, if you hear about earthquakes in diverse places, famines, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So this nation against nation is, you know, race against race. A kingdom signifies a place. So it would be people from one place fighting against another place. one group of people or race of people fighting against another place. Pestilence. You know, we were on shutdown 5 years ago due to pestilence. And he says in verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So, the day of trumpets, not even then, this last trump, right? He continues and says that in verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, or receive salvation, which what we read back in Esdras, and then in the book of Luke, we read what that salvation means. It goes on to talk about perilous times. Verse 15 talks about the abomination of desolation that was spoke of in the book of Daniel. How that's standing in the set apart place, right? This is something that has already occurred, right? That being when I believe it was the Romans had gone into the temple and burned the temple down in 70 AD. And, Mashiach tells the people then, if you're in the land when this happens, you need to flee to the mountains, which all praises to the Most High. We have to believe that a lot of them did. In the book from Babylon to Timbuktu, the author Windsor talks about, or what is it, Randolph Windsor or Rudolph Windsor talks about how over 1 million Yahudim fled into Kebulon in 70 AD. And we know that they went other places as well. We know that there was a large settlement of our people in Yemen, in Saudi Arabia, that eventually just continued to travel to the point now, they call us sub-Saharan, but many of those people that you're calling sub-Saharan are indeed Yahudim or Yasharal rather. All right. But from there we can go to, let's see, verse 29. I just pick 29. It up there.
All right. Verse 29. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 29. It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from Shamaim, and the powers of the Shamaim shall be shaken.
Continue.
And then shall appear a sign of the Son of Man in Shamaim, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the cloud of Shamaim with power and great glory.
Khan, stopping right there real quick. This sounds like a similar account that Esdras had, right? And remembering that Esdras was hearing this from Mashiach. He was hearing this from the Son. So, it's no coincidence that this lines up with what we read in Esdras. But the last verse we need is 31.
Verse 31. And he shall send his Malachim with great sounds of a trumpet, and they shall gather together the elect from the four winds, from one end of Shamaim to the other.
Khan, gathering the elect. Those are those who have been chosen, and we hope to be part of that elect. And like you said, we've got to, not only have the faith in Mashiach, we've got to cling to those commandments. We've got to try to be pleasing to the Most High, right? So that we can be part of that elect. He speaks about his sending the Malaks with a great trumpet. And it just reminded me of what we read in the book of Revelations, chapter 8, chapter 9. And we see there that there were 7 Malaks, each of them with the trumpet. And let's go to that last trumpet that it speaks about in Revelation chapter 11.
All right.
And we want to begin at verse 15, I believe. Let's see.
All right.
Yeah, Khan, verse 15.
All right. It's the book of Hazon, or Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 15. It says, and the 7th angel sounded, and there was a great voice in Shamaim, saying, the kingdom of this world, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our master. Of our master and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which sat before the Most High on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped the Most High, saying, We give you thanks, O Yahweh, power, El Shaddai, which are and was and are to come, because you have taken to you the great power and have reigned.
Continue, out.
Verse 18, it
Con.
says, and the nations were angry, and they and Slakia, and the nations were angry, and your wrath is come, and the end time of the dead, Slakia, and the time of the dead, and they should be judged, and that you should give reward unto your servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear your name, small and great, and you should destroy them which destroy the earth.
Con, stopping right there, this is an account that most people, if you're going to an institution on the first day of the week, you're not going to really hear about this account of Messiah's return. People being judged and being destroyed, but he's coming with the sword. He's coming to restore Yasharal, right? But we can pretty much end off right there. This day is definitely a day for us to memorialize and to anticipate and to remain hopeful. We see a lot going on in the world today. Some things that might try to discourage us. However, we know that Mashiach said that, when these signs were going on, that his return was nigh, right? So one day soon, I don't know when, but we will hear that trump, Abba willing. You got anything out?
Khan, just praises to the Abba for allowing us to get into this word and bring forth this very good information. And I hope the people who are hearing this, I hope it resonates with them in their spirit, in their ruach, and that they are making preparation for the return of Hamashiach, of the Messiah, and keeping his commandments, the commandments of the Most High, the law found in the book of Moshe, Torah, and fully functional and ready for the return of Mashiach, because that is where we will be gathered. That is during the time that we will be gathered. And there's a lot of promises, a lot of good promises to this nation of Israel. And to take part of it, you have to be fully committed. And the Most High is committed. And so we have to be committed as well. So all praises to the Abba. And I hope you've taken a lot away from this, because there's a lot that came out. And I hope you took a lot away from this. But all praises to the Abba. Hallelujah.
I'm going to blast my shofar, because we read that, you shall blow your trumpets on that day. It's Memorial Day for it. So we'll go ahead and start it off.
I'm with that. Here we go. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praises to the Abba.
Hey, why do we do this, huh?
All right, we're going to go ahead and close it on out. We do this for a specific purpose. Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Ha'abba for for Israel is that they might be saved. We want to see our people saved. We want to see our people set free. We want to see our people restored to the promise that the Most High have promised us in Deuteronomy chapter number 30. How do we do it? First, we're going to keep the faith and the belief in Mashiach, the Messiah, in his return and his restoration of the children of Israel, Yasha'al, Yasha'Allah, however you choose to pronounce it. And Ecclesiastes chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is so very important to understand that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. At the end of the day, when it is all said and done, all the dust is settled and all the smoke is cleared, we will be judged on whether we have feared the Most High and kept his commandments. Why? Because this is the whole duty of man.
Khan, Yasharal, again, of Shar Yom Teru. I pray that we all be worthy and ready for our King and kinsman Redeemer's return. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, family. All praises to the Allah.